Assalamualaikum. Boleh dengar ke?
Boleh.
Oh, slow ni. Saya boleh dengar ke?
Boleh dengar.
Assalamualaikum.
Salam.
Saya boleh?
Okay.
Saya cuba share dulu.
Okay. You can try your slide first. Is Siti Novirus, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Ada nampak slide?
Okay. Clear?
Okay.
Right. Okay. Kita boleh mula.
Boleh, Doktor.
Alright. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi. Dah rekod dulu? Rekod dah. Okay.
Sudah.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. And very good morning to all the presenters for today's session. Okay, on the day 2 conference, Team Green Development and Safe for room 1 for day 2. Alright, my name is Surveyor Dr. Wan Samsu Zamani Wan Hamdan, and I will be moderating this live paper session. This is the session for second day session for Team Green Development and Safe. Okay, and the presenter are for today's session, beginning with Siti Novirus and Natasha Khalil on title of preliminary finding of sustainable interior design criteria in hotel industry to perform effective and hedonic consumption. Okay, before we begin, I would like to have kindly some information. Okay, notes. Okay, today's session been recorded to be available for post-conference viewing. If you have any questions for presenters, please use the chat box features in the WebEx. Submit your question in the chat box for the presenter to answer. I will read your question. Should the presenter is unavailable, view the chat box. Okay. If you have any technical question, please reach out directly to me via the chat function. Right. Each presenter today will have a total of 20 minutes, which is 10 to 15 minutes for presentation and followed by 5 to 10 minutes for Q&A. If one of our presenter complete the presentation before the okay, that is the thing that you have to follow. Okay. All right. And now we'll begin. Okay. Now let's praise our first presenter. Okay. Puan Siti, Madam Siti Novirus, to present the topic on the preliminary finding of sustainable interior design criteria in hotel industry to perform effectiveness and hedonic consumption. All right. Without further ado, please welcome Madam to deliver on her presentation. Okay, Madam, you can start your presentation now.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum to moderator Surveyor Dr. Wan Samsu Zamani Wan Hamdan and all participants in this conference. I am Siti Novirus binti Cik Abdullah, the presenter representing on behalf of my research members with the title Preliminary Findings of Sustainable Interior Design Criteria in Hotel Industry to Performance Effectiveness and Hedonic Consumption. Moving on to slide number 2. There are 6 contents I would like to share with all of you regarding the research, which begins with the introduction, a little bit of brief about the research theoretical background, the problem statement. I continue with the methodology, preliminary findings and discussion, the conclusion and contribution, and lastly, acknowledgement. To begin with, there are some facts and figures on the hotel industry. First, the hospitality industry contributes 3.41 trillion to the global economy every year. Next, Hilton is the most valuable brand despite by the COVID-19 pandemic. Third, a survey by Bookings.com stated that 70% of global travelers are more likely to book eco-friendly accommodation. And lastly, the 2021 Annual Sustainable Report claimed 61% of travelers after the pandemic had been inspired to travel more sustainably. Meanwhile, 81% of travelers reported will be staying in sustainable accommodation next year. To summarize, the hotel industry is one of the major contributors to global economic growth, and it is a competitive market that attracts customer attention even more after the pandemic. The intention of bookings to stay in sustainable or green hotels is positively promising. First impression matters, always, but how do you make it last? The meaning of last here refers to the end of life of interior design components. As we all know, nothing lasts forever. But can we sustain or extend the interior product life cycle? These days, most hotels strive to get the best customer reviews possible, taking all the necessary measures to do so. Apart from customer service and price, the physical appearance and spectacular ambience are two of the most crucial factors that hotel owners consider in order to stand out. Interior design is very beneficial in every hotel business. Previous studies showed that interior design style has a significant impact on booking intention across the different generations, and it as well shapes the booking through emotional. Before I went further, there are three main keywords in this study. First is performance effectiveness, which defines as the accomplishments outcome of evaluating the building performance. Second, hedonic consumption, which refers to customer satisfaction. Third, sustainable interior design, referring to design in which all systems and materials are emphasized in minimizing negative impacts on the environment as well as the negative impacts on this end user. The previous researcher supported interior design plays an important role in human mood and social behavior. Hotels are concentrating on aesthetic values as one of the aspects of perceived experiential value. Perceived experiential value here means customer perception towards their staycation experience. People often see interior design only on the surface of the aesthetic visuals, but good design really depended on its solution to give the end user quality of life they needed. It needs to function technically, environmentally, and socially. It is known that hotel sustainability in business relies on customer satisfaction with the products and services the hotel offers. Since the hotel industry services are various and complex, it is crucial to recognize the contextual characteristic and understand the surrounding environment of the operations through proper facilities management. Facility management involves multiple disciplines to ensure the functionality of the built environment by integrating people, system, place, process, and technology. To conclude, hoteliers should be constantly address the FM concept for business profitability. To summarize, there are studies shows that hotel and interior design possess a significant relationship, and most of the studies shows hotel and facilities management possess a significant relationship. Most of these two studies are often researched separately, and there is a need to link the study of the facilities management performance effectiveness and hedonic consumption based on sustainable interior design criteria. The activities that happen within the hotel involve customer bookings until checkout. It revolves around people, place, and process. These 24 hours activities, even more during peak holiday seasons, happen inside the hotel industry has an impact on degradation of the environment. Hotel sustainability in business relies on customer hedonic consumption towards the product and service they experience. Sustainability issues on maintenance management of aesthetic performance, hospitality services, and awareness of sustainable interior design are among significant concerns in this hotel performance effectiveness. In a hotel, the issue in the maintenance management of interior design components include dampness, cracks, detachment, wear and tear, and as well as biological. Performance effectiveness is defined as the accomplishment outcome of evaluating the building performance to understand how the building meets the design, functions, and its capability. The effectiveness can be measured using facilities management approach through building performance evaluation. Therefore, this study aims to identify the components of sustainable interior design requirements relating to facilities management in performance effectiveness and hedonic consumption. The sustainability interior design components will be explored to see their suitability to the context of facilities management towards performance effectiveness and hedonic consumption in the hotel industry. Methodology. To establish the aim, qualitative research using semi-structured interview instruments was selected. The purposive sampling was chosen involving 3 experts. The selection of criteria of the experts were chosen from the GBI website. GBI stands for Green Building Index. The interview session was carried out on a separate date and time and took about 30 to 40 minutes per session. The interview was using an open-ended question, and the responses were audio tape recorded and later transcribed into a written document. The data was then analyzed using content analysis and the network presentation of Atlas TI9 qualitative software. The quotations and responses from the interview session were segmented using deductive techniques, where the codings and themes were preliminarily prepared to help achieve the aim. Analysis and discussion. Table 1 shows the background of the experts who participate in this validation interview. All the participants represent both government and private organizations. The participant comprises of the senior architect, senior interior designer consultants, and GBI facilitator. All of the experts are acknowledged in the field of designing green hotel projects, as well as other categories of green projects. In terms of years of experience, all of the participants have 14 to 25 years of working experience. The first findings is the suitability and selection of sustainable interior design impacted to performance effectiveness. A summary of findings. The participants agreed that the sustainable interior design is associated with hotel performance effectiveness in functional performance, environmental performance, technical performance, and social performance. Ideally, these performance elements relate to context of facilities management. As supported by previous research, the robustness of functional and technical is needed for routine extensive maintenance, which includes adaptability, aesthetics, durability of materials to cater to the unplanned functional and technical failures. The second findings is the suitability and selection of sustainable interior design impacted to hedonic consumptions. All of the participants agreed that the interior elements will impact the hedonic elements in terms of customer mood, happiness, as well as preferences. This is aligned with several authors that the hotel green practice significantly increased the values and pro-environmental intention. Pro-environmental intention here means all possible action aimed at avoiding harm to the environment. And both hedonic and utilitarian values. In this context, hedonic means satisfaction, utilitarian values mean practical design. The researcher claimed a service that is designed to better satisfy the hedonic and utilitarian needs of the customer will garner a larger market share and higher revenues. To conclude, customer satisfaction and feedback are the main hotel business objective. The third findings are the criteria for sustainable interior design. The interview participants agreed that the relevancy of 7 initial sustainable interior design criteria consisting of biophilic, energy efficiency, water consumptions, health and social flexibility, environmental comfort, ergonomics, and grid awareness, as shown in the network of Atlas TI. New suggestion for sustainable interior design criteria on the pink color was suggested, where the criteria of the sustainable interior also include reduction of consumption, sustainable interior design components, manufacturer selections, building envelope, and health criteria. These criteria are aligned with those items listed in the GBI criteria for green hotels. However, those new suggestions are also associated with the criteria of energy efficiency, health, and social flexibility. The findings as well supports previous research on efficient usage of space, the material with less impact on the environment, reducing non-renewable energy consumptions, and reducing pollution and waste. Alongside with other researchers, they claim that criteria of the sustainable interior products and materials are significant to manufacturer selections, health, reduced consumption, sustainable interior design components, and efficient design resource management. Conclusion and contribution. Identifying sustainable interior design elements in hotel is crucial to establishing sustainable performance and competitive benefits, since they contribute significantly to develop a positive brand image, meeting customer expectations and standards, as well as reducing operational cost. Sustainability in the green hotel business depends on the combination of management theory and industry green practice. This study is significant to help hotel industry managers as well as interior designers in identifying which aspect of the property are critical to successful performance by integrating facilities management to sustainable interior design requirements. This study will be further study addressing the subdivisions or subcomponents from the main criteria of the sustainable interior design elements. Acknowledgement. I would like to thank all my research members for the help and the experts who are willing to share valuable input to boost the research. And I would like to thank the Ministry of Higher Education as well for the FRGS funds. It is the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Okay, baru boleh cakap.
Sorry.
Okay, alright. Okay, thank you for the excellent presentation. Okay, if you have any question for the presenters, okay, please add them in the chat box. Alright, or maybe I will read on the chat box. Or if the participant have any question, you can ask directly to the presenter. Any question that you can ask the presenter on the session. I will given time only on 5 minutes because we have another presenter been ready for next session. Any question from the floor to the presenters? Okay. If not, maybe can I ask a question?
Okay. I'll try to answer.
Okay, because you're talking about facilities management in the hotel, isn't it?
Yes.
All right. And your study in terms of sustainability of ID, interior design
Components.
component, not the performance, isn't it?
Um,
Is it performance or component?
the components will later then be measured. Uh, the performance, I
Okay,
think.
that means you're focusing on the criteria performance of interior design sustainability, isn't it?
But yes.
Uh, that's mean because once you know the component, then you can measurement the performance, isn't it?
Yes.
And from the what is the once you get this study finding in
Mm.
terms of what is the impact impact of your study or contribution, the main thing of contribution from your study?
I think at the end of this research will be in the next 2 years, the contribution will be mostly on the academic part as well as for the practitioner part on the empirical knowledge, because all of the findings will help the industry managers as well as I as a interior designer to help actually pick the right criteria before I design a new hotel. So the cycle of the hotel would be better uh, rather than now we are now focusing on the sustainability part. It has to be start from the design phase. It cannot be measured at the sustainability is hard to be fully utilized when at the operational stage. It has to be at the start of the design stage. It's throughout the project life cycle.
Okay, all right. And any question from the others presenters you want to ask? If not, just last one question from me.
Okay.
Just it's not question. It's the matter of your opinion.
Okay.
What is the best? How many period of to redesign existing hotel? Is it after 10 years? Is it after 5 years be operated? Or is it after 20 years? The hotel will apa should be to redesign the interior design of the hotel. How many years? The best time.
I'm not the expert to actually answer that, but I've read through some articles and some research. Hotel did really some what do you call refurbishment between 5 to 10 years. It's a small refurbishment for the enhancements of the interior products. But I see from the major hotel brands, they are renovating. We are doing major renovating um, in somehow 20 years. After 20 years, they are doing major renovations.
Okay. All right. That's all. Thank you, Siti Nofairus, on your session, your presentation today. Okay, and good luck in in your journey after this. All right, and next session, okay, we will go to next presenters. All right, is Madam Zarina Muhammad Zaid. Is, is there any Zarina there? Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, Puan Zarina. Okay, the
yeah,
presenter number 16, the on topic green city concept and its submissive attachment among communities. Oh, that's me. You talk about the relationship of the green city and community, isn't it? Right? And okay, and uh, okay, the topic okay been knowing okay, and without further ado, all right, we will please welcome from Madam Zarina Mumazin to present her topic on green city concept and its submissive attachment among community. Right, Madam, you
okay.
can start your presentation now.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Moderator Surya Dr. Wan Samsul Zamani Wan Hamdan. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning everyone. So I'm here to present a paper with a title Green City Concept, the GCC and its submissive attachment among communities in Malacca. Basically, this paper originated from one of my colleagues, which is Arwah Nur Suhaiza Mat Khalid. So we are the one who are going to continue proceed with the paper. So me, myself, Zarina, and my other colleague, Puan Suzy, and also Tan Moli, going to further discuss on this paper. Okay, so as an introduction, during the celebration of the World Environment Day sponsored by UNEP in 2005, Urban Environment Agreement Green City Declaration was endorsed by more than 60 mayors from worldwide cities, promote the green-oriented urban development and also improve the quality of the community life. So some cities have implemented the green development strategy successfully. For example, like in Germany and also Brazil, that covered the green facilities construction, carbon emission reduction scheme, and also some of the green development planning. So by having this city and environmentally friendly, it means that the city will keep a lifestyle that is not harmful to the environment. It might involve green living, where the resident will live with awareness towards the environment and also with the well-being surrounded. So things like traffic, masses of people, air pollution will be associated with these cities, and these green cities will encourage and provide for the most sustainable lifestyle. And these also will have an active approach towards addressing the climate change and being environmental friendly. So these cities normally they implement things such as recycling programs, bike lanes, community park, and also have a very good water height quality. So for the problem segment, in 2018, only 3% of the cities in low and middle income countries met the World Health Organization's air quality guidelines. So outdoor air pollution is said to be the leading environmental cause, the mortality. So in the developing countries, most cities suffers from numerous problems associated with the process of their urban management and also development. So fast industrialization, new technological inventions such as automobiles, and also the availability of the cheap land and also inexpensive fossil fuels were somehow driving forces for urban development. And these problems have a great influence on the environmental performance of those cities. Indirectly, Malaysia being one of the Asian countries that are rapidly developing and also increasingly face the tension between the economic incentive and also the claim for ethical consciousness regarding accounting for the environment. And study done by Sumiani, Haslinda and also Lamin showed that in Malaysia, air pollution and waste management perceived as the main local environmental issues, with industrial air emissions and also vehicular exhaust two of the major sources of local environmental degradation. So as Malacca itself is very important to the global, and recently it had been listed as a UNESCO heritage site facing environmental pollution. So to address these problems, some relevant law and policy have been implemented by the Malacca government. But the urbanization that happening at Malacca is placing a growing environmental strain on the cities, such as air, water and noise pollution, traffic congestion, and also inadequate solid waste management. So poorly managed urbanization also wasn't risk posed by climate change. Cities in Malacca also face massive infrastructure financing gaps, where about 288.3 billion per year would be estimated based on the ADB estimation. Okay, so due to these issues, this paper aim to identify the level of understanding on the green city concept among the communities in Malacca and also measure the level of awareness among the communities towards the implementation of GCC in their area. Okay, so we look at the literature review. A green city means it is the area which is resilient and inclusive and also manage its natural resources well. Indirectly can promote the low carbon growth to remain competitive and improve the livelihood of all the citizens. So the green city implies a city designed for individuals who prioritize the minimal wastage with high environmental performance for social and economic advantages. So the GCC is one of the latest response to the diverse effort and also research conducted to address the problem caused by the dispersed model of city development and also help the cities to become more sustainable, which is more greener, less dispersed, and also more livable. So further, green city also can be seen as a city that is characterized predominantly by environmental performance with the intention of maximizing social and also the economic benefits. So research done by Brinhan and also Klaas, green city also can be seen as a city that can promote energy efficiency and renewable energy in all its activities, extensively promotes green solution, apply land compactness with mixed land use and social mixed practices while they are planning the system and also anchors its local development principle for the green growth and the equity. Okay, so in Malaysia, the term green city initially made public during the 10th Malaysian Plan tabled by former Prime Minister in 2010. So the GCC in Malaysia incorporated into the Green Neighbourhood Initiative, and Melaka itself would be the first state who implementing the Melaka Carbon Low Town Program in 2010. And also enforced in 2011 the Low Carbon City Frameworks or LCCF. So here the Asian Development Bank Green City Action Plan or the ADB GCAP established to support this Malaysian GCC in 2013, and it would been developed as the Green Technology Master Plan under the Kementerian Tenaga Teknologi Hijau dan Air. So in last 5 years, Melaka has made a great movement towards achievement and become the sustainable green city. So the state government announced an ambitious plan to become the first state in Malaysia to adopt the green technology and also the green city state by 2020. So this project has its goal in order to reduce the GHG emission in cities, especially Malaysia overall. So to achieve this, the government will provide support to the development and also enhance on national urban policy framework that integrated and in inclusive manner. Okay, so the GCAP is a step towards helping Melaka reaching its vision to become a green city. So it's based on the underlying premise that integrated and comprehensive approach that lead to the greener Melaka. The ADB work with Melaka to develop the GCAP. So ADB will help Melaka to implement GCAP by structuring bankable project for solar energy and also street lighting, setting up database to track indicators in environment and also the economic growth. And also the Melaka government had a training in urban development, the environmental planning, and also knowledge sharing with experts, especially from foreign states already implementing the GCC action plan. So by establishing this action plan, Melaka been stated as the green model city and currently embarked several initial key projects, which is the 6 main areas in Melaka Green City Plan Action would be in terms of water management, zero waste, energy efficient and renewable energy, cultural heritage and tourism, green transportation, and also the urban forestry agriculture. So one initiative that you utilize unique model for Melaka Green Technology is the technical assistance itself, working together with the ADB to support follow-up activities in the in Melaka itself. Okay, so they are implementing a renewable energy program, 5 megawatt solar farm that was inaugurated in 2013, established of the Melaka Work Solar Valley. So those who have been in Melaka, I think on the way to Melaka, you will fetch the solar valley, Melaka Work Solar Valley in Bukit Rambai, and also Melaka started transforming their Melaka River from polluted backyard drainage canal to popular cultural amenity, tourist attraction, and also enjoyable green space. Melaka also has some other effort underway, including pilot energy efficiency project to upgrade their street light and also selected public building, electric vehicle charging station, development of the Hang Tuah Jaya Green City, conversion of diesel buses into electric buses, and also initiation of the Melaka Green Seal for building certification. And Melaka also had introduced 3 days of no plastic bag day back in 2014. I think Melaka is among the first state who introduced this no plastic bag day. At beginning, they'll just introduce the 3 days, which is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But now they move to extend no plastic bag for every day, starting January 2016. So as for 2017, City also implemented over 1,600 LED street lamp. Melaka City Plan also aims further their 40 to 70% energy by using the timer and motion sensors. Okay, and also they propose intervention include comprehensive transportation plan to prioritize public transport. So it shows that Melaka had done a lot for the GCC in order to support the GC action plan. Now it's just that whether the people, the community understand and aware on the effort taken by the government itself or not. Okay, so this is the evolution, okay, of the idea that been implemented for the GCAP in Melaka. So for this study, okay, the quantitative applied in conducting the research, and it enlists the participation of 86 respondents in total, chosen by convenience and purposive sampling, where all the respondents being given set of questionnaire, which the item focus on identifying the level of understanding and awareness on green technology initiative in Melaka. So the data gathered would be analyzed using the SPSS. Okay, so from the finding, it shows that total of 86 respondents involved, where majority of them staying at Cheng area, which is in Melaka Tengah, and the rest are from Alor Gajah, Kuala Sungai Baru, Masjid Tanah, and from other areas around Melaka. So looking at the duration of staying, most of them live in Melaka between 11 to 20 years and followed by more than 20 years. So majority of them, they live in Melaka for a long term. Okay, so and from the finding, it shows that people in Melaka have a good understanding to the implementation of green technology initiative. So it can be justified with a total of 220 responded that most of the program was successfully executed, and they realized that the initiative taken by government was to support the GCC program, which benefited the community. However, some of them are not aware on the action plan and initiative because they are uncertain, which contribute 186 response in terms of the program implemented for the GCC. Okay, so as a conclusion, the Green City Plan has been the priority for the development of the cities. However, there are many challenges faced by the state government in order to make the plan successful. So some of the challenges would be in terms of lack of infrastructure, lack of awareness from the citizen, lack of strict enforcement from the officers, and also would be lack of knowledge in terms of what been done by the government. So to tackle these challenges, it's required the city government to integrate the social and environmental consideration into locally customized economic development plans. So it's time for the policymakers to make their own green city action plans at the local government level itself. Okay, and of course, this implementation process needs strong coordination between the multiple government agencies, the private sector, and also the communities. So it needs a management approach to be done very easy in order to adapt the project monitoring, data analysis, and also the citizen feedback. I think that's all from my presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Madam Zarina, for excellent presentation and quite informative in term green city initiative. That's good, and I can get a new knowledge on the green city. Okay, and I open up the question to the floor. Any question from the participant, because I'm referred to the chat board, there is no question. Maybe the participant can ask directly to the presenter. Okay, I open up.
Hi, Dr. Zarina.
Yeah.
Very interesting topic. I want to ask, in terms of implementation of this DCC, does the Malacca government got any private funding or private help in terms of investment on to make this GCC materialize? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question. Yeah, actually, of course, the each government, state government have their own the anak syarikat. So for this GCC project, basically they will get assistance, especially in terms of financial, besides the ADB itself, Asian Development Bank. Okay, they also receive financial assistance from the company who belongs the government owned company, and also the government linked company of the state government itself. Some of the private initiator also contribute in order to implement the GCC. For example, like the World Malacca Solar itself, it involved a company that the investors are from overseas. So this project contributed from also or get the sponsored from the founder of that company of that solar valley. So indirectly you get financial assistance from not only the government itself but the private contributors as well.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Aki, for the question. Any question? One last question from the floor, maybe. Any? Okay, if not, maybe can I ask one question?
Sure, Doctor.
All right. Because this initiative is very good to the Malacca state, and is there what is the from your observation and your questionnaire to the community there? Is it their community quite accept the concept, or they are quite not satisfied the concept on their area?
Oh, okay. Based on our survey, basically, most of the people, they are quite supportive with this GCC action plan or this initiative. It's just that, yes, when we ask them for individual house itself, if maybe they can start to support the solar energy by maybe setting up their roof. Okay, they are very supportive. They have intention to support on that project. It's just that they need assistance, especially in terms of financial. So if the government, especially the state government, can support in terms of that financial assistance, they have no issues to support that initiative. Looking at the no plastic bag, no polystyrene initiative. They now moving on to that initiative. So they have no issue. Before memang majority of them, oh, they forgot to bring their own bag to supermarket, so they still have to purchase that plastic bag and so forth. But now the level of awareness already increased, and they bring together with them the bag, so it can indirectly it shows that they are support the initiative. So they have no issues to support the initiative. It's just that some of the initiative, they need support and assistance from the government.
All right. That's a very good answer from the question. Okay, thank you, Madam Zarina, on your session.
Yeah.
And now we go another presenter, Mr. Abdul Razak. Is there an Abdul Razak there?
Sorry, Dr. Wan, I put
Yeah.
my surname there. It's actually Haki Abdul Razak. So I'm going to present the paper.
Okay. Because the name is Abdul Razak.
It's just to surprise you so that you don't know who's presenting.
Okay. The floor is yours,
Okay.
Mr. Haki.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Wan Samson. All right, thank you for the introduction. My name is Ahmad Haki Nazali bin Abdul Razak. So usually when I present the conference, I use that surname, but now I think it's allowed to use your own name now. Okay, so my topic that I'm going to present is on the energy optimized design attributes checklist of a terrace house nexus to the Malaysian smart grid system via content analysis approach. So it's a tongue twister topic. Now, my presentation flow shall be in these stages, which is the first I'm going to explain on the introduction, followed by the problem statement, research aim and objectives as the third part. The fourth shall be the research method and approach, followed by findings and discussion, and shall be ended by the conclusion. Okay, as the introduction. Now, Malaysia is currently deploying the Malaysian smart grid system because of this scenario that's happening in the electric supply in Malaysia. First is that the traditional grid issues is very old and it's dilapidated and it cannot support the new technologies or the amount of electricity needed by the consumers. And also, we have an increased concern to the environment due to the electricity generation. And the second one is because the government intention is to move away from the fossil fuel to meet the 31% renewable energy ratio by 2025. So as this becomes a general agenda for the government, so the policy is supporting the rise in renewable energy into the system, which means that, as mentioned by the previous author, the previous presenter, we are seeing more solar farms and solar panels are being integrated into the electricity system. So because of this, there is the need to transform the traditional grid. And also because of the old system is not efficient, it's not effective, the operational cost is increasing. So TNB as the main utility company in the Malaysian Peninsula, and also the other two utilities like the Sabah Energy Board and SESB, and I forgot the other one, is Sarawak. Okay, Sarawak Energy. So both these three utilities are also moving forward to implement of the smart grid. Okay, what is the progress like in Malaysia? So the Malaysian smart grid has been kicked off with the pilot project, which happens in Melaka and Putrajaya. And because of the success that they had and they learned the lesson learned from the pilot project, they are now installing smart meters all over Malaysia. And the Malaysian grid modernization is underway as the existing infrastructure is maintained, because we don't want to renew everything. So using the remaining asset, the remaining infrastructure, so they're being upgraded to accommodate the smart grid system. Okay, so what's the problem statement of my research? So because of this smart grid is very intelligent and we see a lot of benefit of the smart grid, we're seeing from the angle of the built environment. So my focus, because the big environment is big, is very huge. So I'm going to scale down it to focus only the residential sector. So my question is, how can the housing sector benefit from the SG system? So hypothetically, is it possible to optimize the house design to fit to the smart system and get its benefit in terms of energy conservation and also energy use? So what's next? So there is the need to investigate the key design characteristics of this housing to fit for the energy system and redesign future housing stock to optimize its benefit. So as from my vast study and trying to find out what are the different strategies on how to maintain or to reduce energy in terms of buildings. So what I found is a tri-level energy conservation strategies. So the very basic approach is to implement passive strategies, and then we increase the enhancement to include active elements. And now, on top of active elements, there's the intelligent components. So passive strategies are good, but we need a 21st century solution to fit for the 21st century problems. Why? Because we need to adopt not only the passive strategies, but we need to include the second and the third level solution, because active elements is crucial to solve the problem of modern society. Why? Modern societies need electricity, because electricity is it's a necessity now, not just food, not just clothing, not just housing. We need gadgets, we need to communicate, we need to connect to people everywhere around the world, because we don't connect socially, physically, but we connect online. And then we need to have a colder environment. We're used to have being in a conditioning environment. We go into cars, we go into supermarket, we get out when it's too hot, we try to get back in the building. And now also there is a rise in intelligent and smart technologies to enhance the way of life. The quality of life has been elevated because of these technologies. And following the energy sector development, the residential sector is expected to advance in a similar manner to embrace these new technologies and innovation. So why not? Okay, why not this residential to move along and to take this advantage? Okay, so what are the strategies to the buildings and energy conservation? So according to DELEAP 2020, there is a way forward by including smart technologies into these strategies to conserve energy in buildings. So on top of passive, we need to add active and also need to intelligent component. So what is the aim of my paper? My aim is to identify critical design parameters concerning buildings, concerning energy consumption, concerning the relevant smart grid components. Okay, so point of departure, my objective. First, potential smart components for design optimization is that smart grid transition is happening. So according to Dean et al. 2019, Martin et al. 2017, there's one electrification is happening not only in Malaysia but globally, and also decentralization is taking place. Digitalization in electricity is also taking place. And then with the implementation of smart grid, the electricity supply is becoming more intelligent, it's being adaptive, it's self-healing, it's resilient, and also it's a sustainable bidirectional flow power system is happening into the modernization of the electricity grid. And according to Farhani 2010 and also Sato et al. 2015, and SG transition necessitates future buildings to be fitted with innovative measures for complementing energy efficiency and sustainable strategies brought about the SG system. Okay, so now buildings need also to accommodate the technologies which is happening in the electric supply sector. So I'm taking a model from the National Institute of Standard for Smart for NIST, National Institute of Standards and Technology, on smart grid conception model for design optimization. Okay, and thank you, Dr. Paula. So these components that I found of the domains which I found in the model is that they are 7 important domains. Okay, so from this domain or from this model, according to Kopstein et al. 2021, this is the latest one. So I'm taking that domain and try to compare it with literatures that I found. So what I found from literatures is that Han mentioned, Han and also Anang, Ali, Magani, Abdul Salam, Sabri, and Hamid mentioned that there is a component from the smart grid talking about energy generation and also residential. And then there's a component of the domain from the smart grid talking about electric vehicle and also smart residential. And then talking about smart appliances connected back to the SD components, talking about electric storage, connecting back to the SD components, and then metering apparatus, sensing and measuring, and lastly, the energy management system. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 components that is relevant or significant to the SD components. All right. Now, how I'm going to approach for this paper, my approach is using the Atlas TI. So I'm going to adopt this approach proposed by Pujara and P. Joshi 2020. So the analysis is using Atlas TI as a software for analysis. I did a document research. I found 50 documents. I filter it, okay. I try to reduce what are the documents or the components which are not relevant, so I discarded those. And I found 15. So from the 15 documents, I did a thorough research or conducted a content analysis using Atlas TI as the software tools to help me identify significant terms, significant codes, and I found 26 codes. From the 26 codes, I categorized them. I found 15. And from that 15, I did a co-occurrence analysis. It's also being done in Atlas TI. Okay, so before I go further, let me just explain what I'm trying to find out from this content analysis. So from the documents that are stating about passive strategies, for example, the documents are the UBBL, Uniform Building Bylaws, the GBI or Green Building Initiative documents, and then the LCC, Low Carbon Cities Framework, and we have the MyCREST document, we have the JKR, MyCREST is JKR, right? And then we have the guidelines. So from all these Malaysian or official documents, unofficial including, so I try to separate them into passive strategies, into active strategies, and then using the NIST model, which is also the document, and try to find which are of this coding are interrelated or overlapping. So that is my research interest. And based on my LR or literature review, I found out a few keyword searching. And these are the keywords that I put inside the software so that I can compare them and code them. And from this, I got the output is that this co-occurrence analysis. So based on sustainable tools, I can see how many are connected to the solar thermal connectors. So what you see on the left is actually the significant smart grid components. What is on the right is the sources where I get these components or these codings. Okay, this is the identified SG components in Malaysian Design Reference Document, Sustainable Tools, Malaysian Standards, and the guidelines, which is the Building Sector Energy Efficiencies Policy or Guideline. All right, and then from the next part is to further analysis. How are these interrelated in terms of the components of the smart grid components? Okay, on what you see on the right is the clustered or the categorized in terms of the residential sector. So on the left is the smart grid components, which are selected only for residential. Okay, and further analysis using the analysis in Atlas TI, I found out that the category can be separated into smart components, active elements, and also the passive components. And so these are the connection or the network of between the codes and also the elements that I found in the documents. So you can see that there is the home energy management system, smart appliances, smart meter, active lighting control, home automation, location sensors, internal shading. So these are the items which are relevant to connect between the design of a building, design components, okay, in a residential or the housing, and with this smart grid. Okay, so in what does this mean? It means that what I found is that, okay, in the passive strategies, we can still maintain using the building form, the orientation, layout design, placement of components. These are the passive components which can be related to the smart grid components. And what are the active elements? The active elements are battery storage, sensors, solar PV, and building integrated photovoltaic. So what are the further enhancements of intelligent components? EV charging hub. Okay, we have electricity switch, smart ones, okay, activated shading devices, home automation, smart meters, activated opening, and also the home energy management system. And from this finding, I separated them. Okay, I put in the left list would be the design parameters on the passive part, and the bottom one is the active components for design parameters. On the right part is the potential SG components from the passive that can be connected together. Okay, and then on the right one is the what can I connect between the design parameters of active components to the smart grid system. So I take and find out that, okay, these are related to smart and the other one are related to active component. And from that list and also the connection co-occurrence, I created a building checklist, listing the different smart grid components which are related to the residential sector or housing unit. Okay, the X is external, IN is internal, Y is yes, no, it doesn't have in the building, and then we have the smart component present or the active component present. So these are the items. And unlike any other types of building checklist, this is only focused on the items of smart grid which is connected or significant to the smart grid system. Okay, so as a conclusion, so SG components for housing design, it says that selecting components of the smart grid system and building design attributes suitable for optimization strategies should be aligned for the smart grid system. And components of smart grid linked to the residential unit are heavily dependable on SG node, which is the smart meter, the energy management system, and also the home automation. So without these three components, it's quite impossible to say that your house is smart grid optimized house. Okay. And then wide range of implementation is proposed, meaning that SG components discovered depicts a certain degree of smartness and active characteristics. Meaning that, okay, how do you define, okay, this building is smart grid optimized building? So there are different, like smart houses, so you have different degree of intelligence. Okay, the more intelligence or technology components that you implement inside the house, the more investment that you need to implement them in the residential unit. So it means that different amounts of these technologies will benefit different levels of social income group, thus benefiting the society's respective social class. Even the B40s or the below 40%, the ones which are not doing very well in terms of money or in terms of economy, so they want also to get this benefit from the smart grid system. So it's possible to implement, but not to the certain degree of you have to invest more. Okay, because buying technology is very expensive. And lastly, implementing these optimization strategies will benefit a myriad of stakeholders across the residential sector. So I guess that's all from me. Thank you very much for your attention. So if you need to contact me, need to ask any more questions, you can contact me at the number there and connect me with through LinkedIn. Thank you very much, Dr. Wan.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Aki, for the good, informative, and interesting presentation. Okay, on the topic, right, about the smart grid system. Okay, and I open up the floor. Any question can ask directly to the Mr. Haki, because in my check, There is no any question there. And I open, oh, there's one question from Paula Ledini. In using smart grid, what is based on your research? The ideal balance between smart technology, smart tech, building for performance, and people behavior to achieve the best environmental and social outcome. Okay, Mr. Aki can ask, can answer the question.
Thank you, Dr. Pola, for a very interesting question. Right. So based on my research, so the ideal balance between smart tech it depends on which society, which people that you are focusing on. So if you're focusing on the one with the middle income, which is the very big in Malaysia, is that a big number of people who are residing in terms of the society level in Malaysia. So you have to focus on more towards they want the quality of life, so they are able to pay for the environment, they pay for the society, not the society, meaning that their lifestyle. And in that sense, that the number of smart tech can be more, okay. And the bidding performance is not it's not really their cup of tea. It's not concerned on that. So we need smart technologies to help them to reduce their energy usage. And the behavior that these people are, that they say I can pay for my my lifestyle. So they don't care about me so much. So you need awareness on this type of people. But for the ones who are very rich, so it's not a problem. They can implement the more technologies, and then same thing that you need awareness also to teach them, maybe not through education, but also through smart technologies. For example, telling them, hey, you're using more electricity than your friends or your neighbors who are also rich. So you cannot say that, hey, you're using more electricity than the ones who are living in that not so doing so well communities. So for the ones who are in the low level income communities, the approach should be also different. So they are not cannot afford to buy these technologies. So the government has to help them. For example, in the communities where they are low income, the government can help to implement a community level of solar panels, not for them, but the government is a buyback program, so that okay, you can implement solar panels on their rooftop, but they buy in terms of renting their rooftop. So that money that they get, it can cover the cost of buying that house. So that's one problem that we have in Malaysia right now, is that the government need to prepare or to build this low cost housing. And I think the cost of housing is now getting more expensive. So using technologies, using this approach, they can help this low income to get money from that program. I hope that answers your question. To follow, thank you again for the question.
Okay, right. Thank you, Mr. Aki, for the question, for the answering the question. And because we have a lack of time, right? Because we have another presenter. It's okay, Mr. Aki. All right. And thank you, Mr. Aki, for your participate on the session. And now we continue the session to others presenter, which is Miss Farah Nadia binti Azhar, right? For the topic on factors that contribute to the success of LCC implementation to the community, a study in Shah Alam. Okay, where is the Farah, madam?
Yeah, Farah is here. I'll make her the presenter. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll start sharing.
Okay, you can test your sharing now.
Can can you see that?
Yes, yes, I can see. But it's quite small. It's okay. Right, it's okay,
Wait.
it's okay. Right, you can begin your presentation now.
Sure. Sorry.
Ah, okay, that's more better. Okay, the floor is yours. Alright.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Farah Nadia binti Azhar. So today, for this conference, I'll be presenting my research topic, which is low carbon city implementation and its benefits towards the community in Shah Alam. So I'll be starting with the introduction. So this is the abstract, and this is the introduction. So moving on to the introduction. Okay, so carbon emission refers to the discharge of carbon or greenhouse gases which are trapped in the Earth's atmosphere. In 2016, it is reported that carbon dioxide made up the highest percentage of global greenhouse gas emission. And according to the IPCC, there's more than 95% probability that human activities over the past 50 years have warmed our planet. So, according to Jalil 2021, Malaysia had signed the Paris Agreement in 2016, where this is to reduce the greenhouse gas emission by 2030. While according to Haliza 2018, Malaysia also have introduced measures such as developing new cities to achieve the carbon neutrality, where, for example, they give tax incentive to companies that have report and limit their emission. And also, this this Paris Agreement is aimed to use green technology and practices to minimize the carbon emissions in the city. So Shah Alam is one of the city that had established this low carbon city program with the aim to reduce the city's carbon emission by 2030. And according to Nasruddin et al., Shah Alam City Council or MBSA, they had designed its own low carbon city 2030 action plan. So this low carbon city action plan is focused on implementing initiatives to improve the city's mobility and transportation. So next, the issue is that despite the fact that Shah Alam had implemented these programs, environmental pollution has been recorded in the city. According to IQAir 2019, Shah Alam's low air quality was ranked among the top 4 cities in the country, with an air quality reading of 45.5 microgram per meter cube in 2019. So according to Rashdan 2019, the high vehicle dependency in Shah Alam not only affect the effectiveness of the low carbon city program, but it also caused haze problem in Malaysia. So in other words, we can say that Shah Alam is one of the city that contribute to the haze problem in our country, Malaysia. So moving on to the aim and objective. So therefore, this study aims to determine the factors that contribute to the LCC implementation, as well as to study the benefits of LCC program towards the community in Shah Alam. So yeah, the objective is to identify the factors that contribute to the LCC implementation, and also to understand the benefits of having this low capacity program towards the community in Shah Alam. Okay, moving on to the literature review. So okay, so there are numerous authors and articles that had explained on the factors that can contribute to the LCC program. So these are some of the example. So for example, according to UNFCCC, 2020, in the article it stated that urban environment created by the low carbon implementation allows for more targeted and impactful support in developing countries. While according to CETA 2017, a successful LCC program can be seen through urban environment, urban transportation, and urban infrastructure, in which road and parking spaces can help to reduce the effect on the environment. Additionally, with a shift in mode of transportation, carbon emission can be significantly reduced. Also, with a proper planning towards the infrastructure, it will reduce the land take, and through the management, it will also reduce the impact of the floods and impact towards the properties. So from this slide, this shares a similar response, which is the factors, environment, transportation, and infrastructure. So this is so next. Okay, these are the authors and articles that explain on the benefits of LCC program, which relates to the health, economy, and social impacts. So for example, EPA 2021, LCC program provides benefits whereby in 41 areas in US that had unhealthy level of carbon monoxide is now have a level that meet the health-based national air quality standard. This is okay. Next, according to Golson 2018, he stated that the LCC also provides a direct economic return, such as reducing the energy expenditure and also transport fares, while also creating more than 3 million net jobs annually. And socially, it also reduce the social exclusion and inequalities through the public transportation, which improves the mobility and urban poor. Okay, next. So this is the continuation for the findings on the benefits of LCC program, but I just skip this. All right. So moving on to the methodology. Okay, so previous study on the LCC program was used to identify the factors and the benefits of LCC program, and also to affirm the factors that contribute to the LCC program, and to validate the benefits of LCC program. Semi-structured interviews with MBSA personnel was conducted. So for this study, a qualitative technique was used as a research method. So to carry out this research study, semi-structured interviews were used with purposive sampling technique to choose the sample of participants. Not only that, same set of questions relating to the research objective were asked to the 3 officers from the MBSA in the interview. So the first respondent was the town planner in MBSA, who is in charge in managing the development of the city, while the second respondent is an engineer who coordinates the operations in the city, and the last respondent oversees the transportation operations in the city. So all the response received been analyzed using the thematic analysis, and the data acquired from their responses was used to draw a conclusion regarding the research objectives. So next, So these are the responses and feedbacks from the respondents. Okay, so from the findings, it can be concluded that all the parameters which are urban environment, urban transportation, and urban infrastructure are used in order to take measures in implementing the SSC program. So based on the first respondent, waste management provides numerous advantage, especially in terms of economy and environment. In fact, the waste disposal is among the highest MBSA's expenditure. So therefore, throughout the waste management efforts by MBSA, such as the garbage segregation, this negative impact can be reduced tremendously. And also, additionally, according to the first respondent, public awareness is important to ensure that the program is successful. However, according to second respondent, this would not be made available if the financial support was not given to the MBSA. So he added that with more funds being allocated, it will attract more investment through their green building projects, which ultimately benefits the economy. And not only that, they also managed to get fund from IGES, which amounted to 60,000 USD, which this gives benefit to their financial economy as the fund can save their own budget for the future plans. And finally, based on the last respondent, she stressed on the city's transport system, where a reliable public transport system is critical as it allows the community to change the mode of transportation from using their own vehicle to take public transport. Therefore, according to the third respondent, MBSA has improved their Smart Selangor program by increasing the number of buses and routes throughout the city. So it can be said that all the three MBSA personnel agreed that the benefits of LCC program is directly related to health, social, and economy, where it also promotes the idea of being sustainable, in which it gives a big impact towards the community as well as to the next generation. So moving on to the conclusion. Okay, so here is the summary of findings, where having a healthy environment, good transportation system, and effective infrastructure, it can contribute to the implementation of the low carbon city program, where also which it also ultimately has an impact towards the economy, social, and health. So therefore, in conclusion, this study had achieved their objectives, and from the interview, this study identifies that the factors in implementing LCC and its benefits toward the community. So all the factors play an important role in implementing the program, where the community will get more benefits when the LCC program is successful. So therefore, raising awareness and educating the people is needed to enhance the program. So for the recommendation, from the interview, it can be said that the support from the federal government is limited. So this study provides a suggestion for the federal government to have a town hall or a roundtable discussion with all the local authorities, so that the policies and support are ensured to balance out, which would lead to the mission of successfully having a low carbon city. It is also hopeful that this study can create more awareness and would allow for more LCC projects and programs to be held in the near future. So Yeah, I think that's all for my presentation today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Farah Nadia, on your presentation on factor contribute to the success low carbon city implementation to community in Shah Alam. And I open up any question from the floor. Okay, any question? If not, maybe can I ask a question?
Sure.
Okay, because the impactful of the low carbon city in terms of economy, social, and health, isn't it?
Yeah.
The impact. Uh, for whom the economy impact? Is it for the community, economy to community, or economy to the government, or economy to whom? Which one you refer?
Um. For the government and also to the community.
That means the impact of implementation low carbon city to the government and also to the local council, the government, isn't it?
To the government and also to the community, such as if they get fund from other 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 funder, so the government can use their own other budget for their for other projects, which it also can benefit to the community. So it can be said that this low carbon city not only give benefit to the government where they can save their own budget, but also it can give the benefits towards the community where the community can enjoy more programs and benefit from the upcoming projects. Yeah.
Okay, right. Thank you, Miss Farah Nadia, on the quite well of explanation on the question. And thank you for your session. Okay, Farah. And now we continue to the next presenter, which is Nurul Izalia Husna Hussein, on the topic Household Awareness and Behavior Challenging E-Waste Management in Shah Alam City. Okay, Miss Nurul, you can test your mic.
Assalamualaikum.
Salam. Okay, you can share your slide now.
Okay.
Maybe you can click to the slideshow.
All right. Can you see my slide?
Yes, yes, yes. Okay,
Okay.
okay, start now.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much to Surveyor Dr. Wan Samsul Zamani Wan Hamdan. Okay. My name is Nurul Izalia Husna binti Hussein. So today I will present to you my research paper, which the title is Household Awareness and Behavior Towards E-Waste Management System in Shah Alam City. Okay. Starting with introduction, e-waste management has become a concern in today's technology-based era where electronic equipment is on the rise, complicating the transition to sustainable management. The rapid urbanization and the growing of population in Malaysia causing negative environmental consequences as waste generation increase. Population growth in Malaysia has led to an increase in municipal solid waste, which has become a critical problem and needs to be taken seriously in terms of management. The population in Malaysia is projected to be 32.7 million in 2001 and expected and expected to be 30
7.4 million in 2030 as urbanization continues. So, municipal solid waste is a term used to describe a wide range of solid waste generated by cities and municipalities as a result of consumer activities, including electronic, biodegradable, and composite waste, as well as medical waste, which currently produced and processed at 25,000 metric tons per day in Malaysia, or 0.5 to 1.9 kilogram per capita per day. Nevertheless, a large part of the country's e-waste is generated as a result of population growth, rapid urbanization, and high demand for electronic devices and their eventual disposal at the end of their useful life. So, in Malaysia, electronic waste or e-waste has been there since the 1940s when electrical devices were introduced. E-waste refers to any electronic product that is no longer working, has reached the end of its lifespan, or has been thrown away by its user. To an estimate, about 20 to 50 million tons of electronic material are dumped each year worldwide, and e-waste make up 5% of municipal waste according to the United Nations. So this is the projection of e-waste in Malaysia from 1985 to 2020. As my study only focused on e-waste from IT and telecommunication, I only show the projection from this category of e-waste. As you can see from the graph, the percentage of e-waste generation increased gradually within 35 years and expected to increase more in the future. Human health and the environment is at risk if this e-waste is not properly disposed of. So at this current, e-waste is poorly managed due to the challenge of household awareness and behavior toward e-waste management system in Shah Alam City. By analyze the household e-waste generation, separation and recycling in Shah Alam City and identify the challenge of household awareness and behavior toward e-waste management. So next is literature review. For household e-waste terminologies, I come up with the household definition, e-waste, and then household e-waste. The household e-waste defined here is electrical and electronic waste generated by household. Household e-waste can be categorized into 10 categories, as you can see in the table. Okay, such as large household appliances, IT and telecommunication equipment, consumer equipment, lighting equipment, and others. So, e-waste typically contains hazardous substances that can contribute to environmental and health problem if not managed appropriately. Thus, the e-waste management system play a critical role in reducing the problem. E-waste management system refers to managing the e-waste flow starting from e-waste generation, e-waste collection, e-waste transportation, e-waste recovery, and e-waste disposal. In this current, the status of household e-waste is still undetermined because of the variety of e-waste disposal options accessible before the e-waste is recovered, as shown in the figure. The major challenge resulting from these issues was household awareness and behavior based on previous studies. According to Al-Muhim 2022, household awareness is one of the success factors in developing a long-term strategy e-waste management system, which is important in creating on economically and environmentally friendly management. Moreover, multiple studies have looked to improve household awareness and behavior in dealing with e-waste. The primary approach used in managing e-waste has been an attempt to change people's behavior and increase their awareness of the environmental problem e-waste present. Increased awareness and behavior among consumers will play a significant role in reducing e-waste, helping manage e-waste dumping, and improving recycling strategies. For methodology, This study used a qualitative approach to determine household awareness and behavior toward household e-waste management system. A semi-structured interview was conducted with 10 household representatives in Section U2 Shah Alam City in January 2022. Section U2 Shah Alam City was selected as the study area because of the facilities provided such as e-waste collection point, recycling center and e-waste program by its local authority, which is more concentrated in this area. So 10 participants involved. The result derived from a screening form conducted to select participants based on the criteria set. The criteria include participants who live more than 5 years in Shah Alam City, which is from landed housing, and have experience in generating e-waste from IT and telecommunication. So the participants were asked several questions about e-waste management. Then the interview is recorded, transcribed, and analyzed using Atlas TI software. So based on the data collection method, this paper presents household awareness and behavior from the aspect of e-waste generation, separation, and recycling in Shah Alam City. So this is the process of selecting participants. So next is the result. Several questions focusing on waste generation, separation, and recycling have been asked to participants to determine their awareness and behavior to e-waste management system in Shah Alam City. From the responses of e-waste generation, most of the participants have generated mobile phones. However, their way of discarding the item was not proper, as most of them have discarded in waste bins together with other waste. Therefore, their way of discarding the item showing their awareness and behavior is weak in managing their waste. From the responses of e-waste separation, several participants admit that they are not doing e-waste separation, and several participants admit they are doing separation. However, the majority is that they are not doing separation before discarding the item. This response shows that waste separation practice are lacking among the household, even the local authority has already exposed to the resident about waste separation. So from the participant responses of recycling practice, most of the participants admit that they are not practice recycling for e-waste. Therefore, the recycling practice in Shah Alam City can be considered as still lacking, creating constraint and challenge for waste reduction. This issue is also supported by previous research where indicates the major problem relating to e-waste in Malaysia is the poor attitude of Malaysians toward e-waste recycling. So next is discussion. The awareness and behavior of household are the major challenge for e-waste management system. This challenge resulted from participant responses on how they discarded the e-waste and their separation and recycling practice. Household living in Section U2 landed urban neighborhood have generated e-waste from IT and telecommunication equipment. Their way of discarding the e-waste can be considered poor, as some of them are still discarding the broken items in the waste bin together with other waste due to insufficient e-waste storage. However, at this moment, e-waste storage in Shah Alam City is provided in recovery facilities and a recycling collection point for temporary storage. The local authority, which is MBSA, does not provide e-waste storage in residential area. And in addition, separation practice among households is still low, as they love to mix waste together in general waste bins provided without separation. Although there are recycling centers in Section U2 have been provides facilities for residents to discard their e-waste, not all the residents are aware of the existence of these facilities provided for e-waste, where resulting low recycling rate of e-waste received. So in order to tackle this challenge, environmentally friendly practice must be implemented at all levels to ensure that the risk of e-waste can be controlled to a minimum. waste separation must be undertaken as a compulsory practice in the household to ensure the waste collection process. So every household must separate their waste from home according to the categories of waste to avoid mismanagement of waste. However, imposing a compound for those who do not practice separation is necessary to ensure they do not discard the items incorrectly. And in the meantime, the local authority should reward the public that practice recycling because some people like doing something that can get the reward, such as giving vouchers to them. So to conclude, to tackle the household awareness and behavior in Shah Alam City on the e-waste management system, environmentally friendly practice must be implemented at all levels to ensure that the risk of e-waste can be controlled to a minimum. Among the practice that can be done, such as household can return any one electronic items to the seller, replace all electronic items when buying new ones, and send them to recycle center. The use of computer, for example, needs to be serviced regularly to extend the life of electronic goods or buy old but still usable electronic items. Besides, the local authority must increase the number of e-waste recycling bins for mobile phones and increase the awareness program among the community on the issue of e-waste dumping and its impact on the environment. So indeed, these strategies need to be implemented by the local authority with the cooperation with all stakeholders involved in e-waste management system in order to achieve sustainable waste management and to prevent our country from continuing to dump e-waste that can affect the environment and human health. So, however, we as a good consumer, the changes should begin with us and adopt a sustainable and responsible lifestyle. The more we concern about the care of the environment, the more our life will be secure and productive. So this is the references I use for this research paper. And thank you. That's all from me.
Okay, thank you. Okay, daripada Nur Izalia, okay, on your presentation and your maybe I can open up the question to the floor if any. Okay, any question? Okay, if not, maybe I can I ask the question?
Of course.
All right. Because you talk about awareness on e-waste management to the community in Shah Alam, isn't it?
Yes.
All right. What is the high or the most critical acceptance from the community in terms of e-waste? What is their challenge to accept this concept? The most challenge.
So from my observation and data collection, what I received from the household, so basically the most challenging for them is their awareness and their attitude itself, because it's begin with our self-awareness and the behavior to changes the how we manage the waste, how we manage the waste. What I can say, they're lacking of awareness and behavior because the lacking of facilities provided by the local authority, which is they don't have the access to recycle to what I can say is that MBSA does not provide the facilities nearest to the resident. So they think if they want to discard the items for once or two items to send to the recycling center, it's just waste of time if with the distance is far away from their residential from their residential areas. So I recommend that maybe MBSA can locate the facilities such as a recycling center or provide e-waste recycling bins at residential areas, so they can practice to discard their e-waste with the appropriate waste lah.
Okay. All right. Okay, thank you, Nurul, for your brief explanation on the question. Okay, quite good. All right, and thank you. All right, Nurul, for your participate on this session. And now we goes to the last presenter, the only one that will present is Dr. Surveyor Suryani Abdul Wahab, okay, from senior lecturer from Building Surveying Department. Right, she will talk about topic about main agents affecting building defect in the coastal environment of Malaysia. Okay, and doctor, can you test your mic? Can you test now? Testing the mic.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. Okay.
Okay, I can hear you.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
All right,
Okay.
and you can share your slide now.
Okay, thank you. Okay, can you see Dr. Wan?
Okay, might be you can choose the slideshow.
Okay, okay, one moment. Okay.
All right, doctor, you
Okay.
can start your presentation now.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Moderator, Dr. Wan Shamsul. Okay, good afternoon to all of you and also to the participant and also the presenter. Today I would like to present or share with you my study, okay, entitled Contributing Factors and Main Agents Affecting Building Defects in the Coastal Environment of Malaysia, a qualitative study. Okay, as mentioned by Mr. Moderator, my name is Suryani binti Abdul Wahab and the rest is my colleagues Nur Fatihah Rusli, Hasna Hashim, Munirah Radin Muhammad Mohtar and Ratna Dewi Nuraini. Okay, this is my presentation's outline. So we will start with the introductions, literature review, methodology, result, finding and discussion, and also the conclusions. Okay, let me start with the introductions. Okay, nowadays, okay, there are many different types of the buildings that need to be taken care of. So including residential, office, commercial, and other types of the building. Okay, certainly a variety of environmental conditions such as which is those on the shore or in the coastal area play a part and contribute to the building defects. So in terms of the aesthetic and ecology, the majority of the people always feel that building that built near the sea is one of the most comfortable place to live. Okay, however, there are certain weaknesses to owning a home in a seaside or owning a building in a seaside area, including that the defect can emerge more quickly than in a non-coastal environment. Okay, therefore, the objective of this study were to identify the main agents that contribute to the defects and offered coastal defect prevention to limit the future difficulties or to limit the problems. So for your information, more than half of the world populations now lives near the sea, which is within about 60 kilometers. Okay, and this number is growing. Okay, then climate change is having a significant impact on most of the world coastal regions. Okay, here's the, we move to the literature review about the coastal environments. Okay, for the coastal environment ecosystem, locations where land and water came together to form an environment with its structures, diversities, and energy flow. Okay, salt, marshes, and mangroves, wetlands, estuaries, and bays are among the various varieties of the plants and animals that live there. So for the coastline of the Malaysia itself, so it approximately 4,800 kilometers long, including the coastal areas of the Sabah and also Sarawak. Okay, Malaysia coastal region is situated on the geologically solid Sunda Shelf. Okay, the overall length of the Malaysia's coastlines is roughly about 73% of the total length of the country borders. Okay, that one is the source from the Malaysia. Okay. Next, we move to the literature review about the defect that always discovered at the coastal area. Okay, so if you can see here, this is the defect happen due to the strong wave and high wind, okay, especially during monsoon season, and it may occur and erosions problems. Okay, since many the residential building in coastal area are exposed to the salt water, say corrosions and deteriorations of the building elements such as the rebar, okay, window frames, and all the elements are possible defect caused by the seawater itself. So metal corrodes 5 times quicker in salt water than in fresh water. So while metal corrodes 10 times faster in salty, humid ocean air than in air with normal humidity. So we call it, our situation now is a normal humidity without the salt air. Okay, here is the main agents of the defects as a literature review. If you can see here, there are 6 of the main agents. Okay, these informations of this knowledge is supposed to be, we need to know because of before we diagnose all the defects, we need to know this kind of the main agents. Okay, if you can see here, there are 6. So the first agent is a mechanical agent, which is, for example, the forces applied or impactions, or ground pressures, dynamic, vibration, wind, and water. Number 2 is a electromagnetic, which is came from the solar radiations, okay, ultraviolets, radiations, there's visible, wave band, and infrared radiations. And number 3 is a chemical agent, which is reactions from the water, oxygen, sulfate, other chemical agents. And number 4 is a biology. Okay, it came from the humans, animals, plants, microorganisms. And number 5 is from the thermal agent, which is such as temperature, fire. Fire means a severe fire, okay, climatic conditions. And the last one is a natural disasters such as earthquake, tsunami, flooding, okay, landslide, and forest storm. Okay, if you can see here, there are 5 changes. I put it here. So changes in terms of the compositions of the conditions of the material used. Okay, these changes means that the changes to the material, and then we can call it as a defects. Okay, changes in the compositions or conditions of the material used. B is a changes in terms of the structure forms. Okay, changes in the shape and size and weight. And D is a changes in appearance, including color. If you can see here, changes in the composition will came from the electromagnetic agents, chemical, and also biological, and also thermal agent. And changes in the structure forms came from the agent of the mechanical, chemical, and also thermal. And then changes in terms of the shape of the material and also size and weight, it came from the mechanical agent and thermal agents. And changes in terms of the appearance of the material, including color, it came from the electromagnetic agent, biological agent, and thermal agent. If you can see here, the thermal is the main agents that can contribute all of the changes of the material. Okay, here's is the methodology of my study. Okay, we will start with the case study, which is along the Terengganu Beach. Okay, diagnosis. So the diagnosis I conduct the diagnosis with the non-disruptive test equipments, And then, as I mentioned before, the factors that contributes to the defect is the mechanical, biological, thermal, electromagnetic, chemical, and natural disaster. And then we identify the defects. Then from here, we come out with the questionnaires and interviews, and also building observations to the case study. Then from the data above, we try to get the preventions recommendations to the building which is nearby the beach. And then this is the chronology of the investigation, which is virus science. Start from, we try to get the source, the causes, the defects and the symptoms, what is the failures and the damage of the material. Okay, next. Okay, here's the result of my case study. If you can see here, okay, the case study was subjected to observation and also qualitative methods. Okay, there are 3 locations with 4 case study, which is at Bukit Rakit Beach, Seberang Takir Beach, and also Tok Jembal Beach, which is the distance from the beach is within 5 meter till to 300 meter, and the age of the buildings is ranged from the 5 years till 70 years. The building type is a 1-story building and also 2-story building, and the building material mix from the timber and also from the concrete. Okay, here's the finding from for the building. So as I mentioned before, there are 4 buildings for my case study. Okay, for building 1, and the corrosions of the louver windows and door hinge in buildings built near the seaside are subjected to the seawater intrusions. Okay, this is a result of the coastal area wind direction, which is consists of the salt air, okay, affecting to the building itself. Okay. Meanwhile, building number 2, the corrosions of electrical equipment and door hinge is caused by the exposures of the salt water to electrical appliances in the buildings. So this is a form of corrosions occurs when 2 different metal with a physical or electrical contact are immersed in the common electrolyte, such as salt water. Okay, when a metal is exposed to different concentrations of electrolyte. So the seawater that condensed on building elements will finally evaporated, but the salt in the water will remain. So therefore, you can see here the decay on the timber wall, and the surface is a little bit sticky. We call it as a malekit. Okay, next, building 3. So building 3 is subjected to seawater intrusions. Okay, the peeling of the paints, okay, due to dampness, sticky surface, and the corrosions of louvers windows are the symptoms that can be found in this building. Okay, this is a result of the coastal areas, winds, direction, and speed, which is consists of the salt air again. Then this the speed and the direction of the wind is determined by the weather of the area. It depends on the weather on that day. Okay, next is rust on the metal components and decay of the timber structure that can be found in the building number 4. So in the coastal area, you can see the quantity of the moisture present in the air is higher than in the desert. Okay, then rusting of the iron objects is faster rather than the normal area. So biological damage to above water parts of the waterfront structures is caused directly or indirectly by the activity of the fungi and also insects that utilize the wood as their food for the nasty material. Therefore, we can see here sometimes the timber will decay due to the fungi attack. Okay, next is the finding and analysis. Okay, so all of the respondents had sufficient local experience actually. So the questions start with the general matters such as age of the buildings, then move to the particular issues regarding the defects have been occurred at the building. So as a result, they are familiar with the coastal environment and the usual issues that affect a coastal home. So there are 50 respondents receive a qualitative survey on defects and agent causing factors for the building. So as shown here, if you can see here, the main agents as a mechanical, chemical, and biological agents were the primary causes, fault in the coastal residential. Okay, so according to the finding, if you can see the finding of the qualitative here, a high percentage, 96% of the elements experienced were rusty components, okay, missing roof, decay, and dampness conditions. Mold growth came in the second highest place, which is 88%. After termite damage is 82%, and was followed by peeling of the paint 60% and choking 44%, as well as damage 38% and erosions 22% and cracks 20%. So according to the types of the defects that we discovered, and as you can see here, during the research and data from the survey, termite infestations, decay, rust, dampness, missing roof, cracks, erosion, and mold growth were among the most common concerns at the buildings nearby the beach. So other building defects such as choking, honeycombing, and peeling of the paint occur often. So another defects that found in this case study is sticky conditions on the wall surface. So this is uncommon defects that we can found due to the seawater intrusions. Okay. So both of the observations and survey findings show similar defects found when analyzing the data above. Okay. So for the conclusions, so the result interpretation has been laid down in the research to confirm that contributing factors and main agent of affecting building defects in the coastal environment of Malaysia, as I mentioned before. So the preventions offered coastal defect preventions to limit future difficulties of the defects were explored based on observation and also the questionnaires conducted. So these studies findings suggest that building owners in the coastal area should consider in terms of the material choose, especially for nearby the sea, which is they should stable against the significant wind, vibrations, and can survive the reactions of the sea salt content. Furthermore, the building owner is responsible for doing routine maintenance at their building by performing plant maintenance, or they need to do the visual inspection, building condition assessment to their own building. Okay, for instance, by also doing monthly and also yearly scheduled maintenance. So from there, we hope that the building we can monitor its performance. Okay, it may also contribute to reduce building defects for the future. I think that's all, Doctor. Thank you so much for listening my presentation.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Surani, for the presentation on topic main agent affecting building defect in the coastal environment of Malaysia. And might be have a question for the floor. Any question before we end the session? Okay, any question? If not, maybe I can ask the question. One
Sure,
question.
Doctor.
Right. This defect is focusing on the coastal, that means the east of Malaysia, isn't it?
Yep.
Like Terengganu, Pahang, and Kelantan.
Yes.
And
We just covered Terengganu only, Doctor.
Terengganu. That
yes.
means the main highest defect that always occur in Terengganu, which is the most always occur. Which is it on like, because we know we have like, because coastal is the front of the sea. That
Yep.
means most of damage definitely is on the what they call rusty, isn't it? Is it the rusty is the main defect or other else defect?
Actually, there are combinations, but what is the difference between the near the sea and non near the sea? Of course, we identify rusty is much more appear within the buildings compared to the non-environment building, non-environmental coastal building, sorry. Yeah, rusty is the most defect that we found for the building that nearby the beach, because of there are 4 times faster than normal humidity
That means the
due to the salt.
construction.
Yes, due to the
That
salt
mean,
air.
that means the selection of material for construction in the nearer the sea
Yes.
cannot use steel, isn't it? Have to use timber or concreting or what?
Yes, they need to choose such as the stainless steel, or the steel should has what you call it, preventions from the rusty. Yeah, or we can use the marine wood and so on, like that.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Sharani, on
Thank you so much.
on the explanation on the question, and for the wrap up for the session. Okay. Thank you for all the presenter today, and thank you for attending this session. If you have any additional question for the presenter, you may contact representative presenter personally. Okay, enjoy the rest of the first international e-conference on green and safe city Iegresafe. And before we end our session, we have a photo session. Okay, and please open up your camera for to make a photo session. And where is Mr. Haki? Tengah makan ke apa? Okay, alright, okay. And now we make a photo session. Okay, stand by, look at the camera, smile. Okay, one. Yeah, sorry. Just a minute. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, another one. 1, 2. Just a minute. Okay, freestyle. 1, 2. All right. Thank you. Thank you all, participant on this session, and hope we meet again in another session on the conference. That's all. Please forgive me if anything my weaknesses during my session, and hope you can successful in your life after this. That's all. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Thank you.